Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's had a great summer. Welcome to LinkedIn Live with Steve White, the September edition. Again, I hope everybody's had a great summer. Again, welcome to LinkedIn Live with Steve White, the September edition. And let me tell you, the reason we do this monthly LinkedIn Live is I get a lot of notes, I get a lot of chats, I get a lot of tweets. I get a lot of notes from folks through LinkedIn and through Facebook, just asking me about different business items because I've spent so much of my career in corporate America and just asking me questions. And so we thought having this LinkedIn Live, taking some of the most important subjects that kind of come up during the month and notes that I receive would be helpful to share with you. And so that's why we do this. We're excited about the September edition because it's a topic that's quite honestly have received a lot of attention. We'll talk about that in a second, but thank you for joining us. And let me just say thank you to everyone for all of your support. As most of you know, I released my first book in March of this year. Called Uncompromising. It's done very well. So thank you to all of you who have purchased the book, who have read the book, who have shared the book with some of your friends and your colleagues and your teammates. Thank you. And for those of you who have not checked out the book, please go check it out. And if you don't feel comfortable buying it yet, go to my website, stevewhitespeaks.com. You can take a look at some of the excerpts from the book and hopefully get a good feel for it and see if it's something that you want to purchase. So thank you for all of you that have supported the book. Thank you for all of you that follow me on social media. Thank you to all of you that have visited the website because I think it's a place you can go hang out, you can learn, you can listen to different podcast things I've been part of. Hopefully you'll find it beneficial because we all know we are chairman and CEO of our own company. So the more we invest in our company, the more we find time to invest, the stronger our companies will be. So thank you again for everything that you do. So this month's topic, it's a hot one, trust me. So not sure you want to work at the office. Sounds like a loaded question, doesn't it? I'm going to give you 3 reasons why I believe a hybrid schedule can really boost your career. This is one person's perspective. I'm not representing any company. This is one person's perspective. So I want to talk about why a blend of working at home and going into the office can actually be beneficial to you. Now, I know a lot of companies are in flux right now. Some companies are saying, hey, work from home completely. Some companies are saying, we want everybody back. Some companies are doing a hybrid. I know at Comcast, for our office employees, we've gone to a hybrid model. Something that I support. So we're going to talk about that in a second. And hopefully I can share a unique perspective because not only have I been a senior executive in a major company, I'm also a dad. I have a young son, Stephen Andrew White II. He goes by Stevie. He's 9 years old. He's in the 4th grade. And so my wife, we co-parent him. This is a co-parent situation. So there are certain benefits to working from home. So let's talk about why this idea of a blended hybrid setup can actually be good for your company. Because remember, you're chairman and CEO of your own company, and the company that you work for, they're purchasing your services. And I know I'm excited that Comcast purchases my services, but I never lose sight that I'm CEO and president of Steve White Incorporated. Comcast purchases my services. So I'm always thinking about how I can make my company stronger. And that's why this month's topic is about this hybrid workforce. So let's talk about this. The first reason that I believe a blended work situation can be healthy is career growth and collaboration at the office. And so let's talk about that a second. The best ideas, the best energy comes from what I call impromptu interactions. When you meet somebody in the lunchroom or in the hallway, or you're passing, or you pop into someone's office. Let me tell you why this is so important. So not only can it be a way to spur new ideas, But a huge part of leadership is certainly listening to what someone's saying, but also you're listening for what they're not saying. And you're watching body language. So if you're presenting an idea or a concept or a new business development idea, understanding those cues are very important. And if you're at home on Zoom or Teams all day long, you can't sharpen your skills in that area. And I know a big part of my career growth was those personal interactions, listening to people to see where my idea was maybe working or not working. Also, when you're at work, you understand the company's challenges. You understand the nuance of what's happening within your company. Let me give you a good example. At Comcast, we would do monthly operations reviews where we kind of tear apart the business, and we would often invite young leaders into the meeting to listen and to learn and to grow and to be mentors. So they didn't have a specific role, but they were there to grow and learn and listen. That's difficult to do when you're working at home and you're only working with your specific department. And number three, one of the ways this boosts your career growth is what I call mentorship through observation. I often tell people that I have more mentors than most people can imagine. But here's the trick. Most of those mentors, they don't even know they're mentoring me, but I'm watching, I'm observing, I'm seeing how they handle unique situations. You just can't get that unless you're spending time in the office around other leaders, particularly senior leaders. And that's how you can grow and sharpen your sword. So when you get to those key positions, you've learned through observation. So there are three reasons that I believe going into the office can benefit your career. Number one, those impromptu interactions are critical. This nuanced understanding of your company's challenges, just being around and listening to what's happening. And then finally, this mentorship through observation. That has probably been one of the greatest benefits to my career is watching others succeed, but also making mistakes. So I didn't have to repeat that. So that's number one, career growth and collaboration at the office. Now let's flip it. We know there's some benefits to working at home, but it's only a benefit if you're in it, if you bring this level of intentionality to working at home. We all know the benefits. You don't have to commute. You can be near your family. You can have lunch with your spouse if you have a few minutes during the middle of the day. But one of the benefits, one of the ways this benefited me was this alone time when I had a few minutes and I was not interrupted. I didn't have people popping into my office. I could spend more time intentionally reflecting, thinking about my day, thinking about yesterday and where I could be better. So you get a little bit more alone time. So if you take that time and you're intentional with it, it gives you an opportunity to reflect and think and plan and think forward, which allows you to be more effective. And then finally, working from home, let's be honest, you do get breaks and the ability to step outside, the ability to maybe take a short walk, or maybe the ability to kind of go spend time with your spouse, or if a family member's there in the home, it allows you to recharge your batteries. If you have a long day of team and Zoom calls, it allows you to regroup and refresh and get that second win or that second energy so you can be just as effective throughout the day. I know for me, my time when I'm most effective is early morning and throughout the morning. I'm less effective later in the day. So I try to find ways to recharge my batteries mid-afternoon so I can finish the day just as strong as I started. So intentionality and focus at home can be a benefit relative to this hybrid work situation, working from home and going in the office, but only if you do it with intentionality. So let's talk about that real quick. It gives you alone time, uninterrupted time to reflect and really think about where you're going. And you get those opportunities to recharge your batteries. Maybe you're a morning person like me. Maybe you're a midday person. Maybe you're late in the day. Whatever your deal is, whenever your lowest point is from an energy standpoint, it allows you to regroup, recharge. Now, let's kind of bring this all together. We talked about why working from home and working from the office can be a good situation. Number one, career growth and collaboration at the office, I believe, is critical to your career growth. Secondly, there's a benefit to working from home, but only if you take advantage of it with intentionality. And we talked about that. Now let's bring it together. Why a blend of both, I believe, is the best as it relates to building your company to its greatest strength. If you're thinking and acting like a business, that means you're on the lookout for opportunities above and beyond what you're already doing. These are hard to find when you're working from home. But when you're in the office, you're in the different surroundings, you can now find those unique opportunities that might exist, whether it's a career opportunity, whether it's a unique challenge that the company is facing. I often talk about the way you separate yourself from others is you run to the biggest challenges that your company's facing and you go from there. So that's number one. Number two, some of the best ideas, they always come from the bottom up. They never come from the top down. So when you can create a culture, when you can create an environment where brainstorming is allowed to take place, those ideas get bubbled up. And that allows you as a leader to take those ideas, nurture those ideas, put seeds on it, put water on it, and help it grow. And that will really go a long way. And then finally, the sense of belonging. We all want to be part of a team. And I think we can have our cake and eat it too here. And I think in this case here, we want to talk about how do you go in and create this sense of belonging with your teammates? Because there's a lot, it's hard to measure, but this idea of belonging, this idea of being part of a broader team, so you can go in and make a difference and build something unique and special is really, really unique. And you just can't get that if you're working from home 100% of the time. Certainly there are benefits, but let's not throw out the baby with the bathwater. There certainly are some benefits when you can create this hybrid situation. So I know this is a big subject. I know it's created a lot of discussion in a lot of boardrooms and a lot of conference rooms. But from one person's perspective who's lived the corporate world and now have a young child at home, I certainly can see both sides of the picture. But I do believe there's a middle point here. Number one, 3 ways where you can make this hybrid work situation work for you. Number one, career growth and collaboration at the office, I believe, is good for your company. Number two, if you're working from home and you're spending time at home, it's a benefit when you're doing it with intentionality for reflection and chances and opportunities to recharge as you go. And then why not take the best of both worlds? And we talked about if you're thinking and acting like a business, you're always looking for opportunities to better your company or to make a difference. And you can only do that when you're in the mix where you can make a difference. The best ideas, and that's what really fuels companies, is this opportunity to brainstorm. And that's where cultures really can help the company move forward. Because when we talk about companies that survive and fail, the difference always comes down to people. It always comes down to culture. And it's definitely difficult to build a culture when you're never together. And then this idea of belonging. I know I've enjoyed my 20 plus years at Comcast. I actually feel like an owner and not a renter because of the time that I've spent with my colleagues and my teammates. So, interesting subject. Hopefully you found this helpful. pop me a note, go to LinkedIn, go to Facebook, tweet, share with me your thoughts and comments on what we talked about today. I hope you found it beneficial. And thank you for joining this month's September LinkedIn Live with Steve White. And again, thank you for all your support. Thank you for everything that you do. And I hope you found this session helpful. Have a great day and enjoy the rest of your week.